Trying to sell it back now.
FIFA World Cup 2018 is the showcase of the world's most popular sport, and Bermuda Broadcasting Company will deliver all 64 games in high definition. This is a great opportunity to present your ad during the most prestigious sporting event. For more information, email sales@bermudabroadcasting.com.
Your choice of potatoes, 5-pound bag, only $4.49. Fresh certified Angus beef, high-round roast, only $5.99 per pound. Grace corned beef, 12-ounce tin, only $3.49. Ringo pasta sauce, 24-ounce jar, hot price, only $2.79. Old-time honey wheat sliced bread, 20-ounce loaf, hot price of only $3.99. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, February 8th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. A legal challenge to the legislation banning same-sex marriage is expected within weeks or even days. The former Attorney General Mark Pettingill has told Bermuda Broadcasting his law firm has been instructed by an unnamed client to pursue an action in the Supreme Court. Hal Davis has more on the legal implications of this story.
Within 24 hours of the governor giving his assent to the controversial domestic partnership bill, it already faces the prospect of a legal challenge.
We were instructed this morning to pursue a potential legal challenge. So, we have those instructions from an individual, and the next step is to consider, where and when and how to bring about that process. Certainly Section 15 of the Constitution gives the right to an individual who feels they are aggrieved as a result of their rights under the Constitution being infringed to bring an action in the Supreme Court.
The identity of the client who will be responsible for bringing the case before the island's highest court is not being revealed yet. But Mr. Pettingill says the legal action will begin within weeks or even days. Supporters of the Domestic Partnership Act point out that it does give gay couples the right to a civil partnership and many legal protections. But Mr. Pettingill says that's not true equality.
People like myself, and I think others on the human rights issue, say there cannot be a middle ground and that you cannot cherry pick on human rights, that they are there across the board for everybody, including every provision of service. So every human being is entitled to the same right and services as every other human being, regardless of their sexual orientation. That includes the right to the service of a contractual marriage.
The legislation has prompted an international Twitter campaign called #BoycottBermuda, with hundreds of people retweeting the phrase and many saying they will not visit the island. What seems to have offended many people is that gay marriage was legal in Bermuda from May last year before being banned. British MP Chris Bryant says the move is a mistake.
150 years ago, lots of people in this country thought that slavery was fine, never thought to question it. And I suspect that in 100 years' time, people will turn around and go, what on earth were people saying? What were they thinking? What was going through their heads when they decided that some people were second-class citizens and shouldn't be treated equally under the law to everybody else?
For those hoping the same-sex marriage debate may have been settled by the governor yesterday, it looks like disappointment lies ahead. Even if the Supreme Court here rules in favour of the government, law experts say they'll fight for their case in higher courts in Britain and Europe. Howell Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meanwhile, Bermuda dominated debate in the British House of Commons today, with Bermuda the subject of an urgent question to government ministers over the governor's approval of domestic partnerships. Left to answer questions on behalf of Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson was Junior Minister Harriet Baldwin, who was visibly uncomfortable.
We are obviously disappointed about the removal of same-sex marriage in Bermuda. The Domestic Partnerships Act, to which the Governor of Bermuda assented yesterday, does ensure that Bermudians who who have been legally married in Bermuda since the Supreme Court decision will retain their married status and enjoy the same legal rights as those in domestic partnerships. Less than a year ago, same-sex couples had no legal recognition at all under Bermudan law. While the Act withdraws the entitlement for same-sex couples to marry, it replaces it with a provision for domestic partnerships for all couples. The Secretary of State decided that in these circumstances it would not be appropriate to use this power to block legislation, which can only be used where there is a legal or constitutional basis for doing so, and even then only in exceptional circumstances.
Following a year when Australia and Chile have joined the march towards marriage equality, this legislation is a significant step backwards. For that to happen anywhere in the world would be shameful. But for it to happen in a British territory, with the legislation signed by a British governor and permitted by a British Foreign Secretary, that, Mr. Speaker, makes us complicit in something which this House has repeatedly voted against.
The first slaves were brought to Bermuda in 1620. Oppressed, segregated, discriminated against. And that is why leaders like Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu and Barack Obama have not just fought for race rights, they fought for rights of lesbian, gay and bisexual people. This country has been one of the world leaders on this subject. So if this is not the issue on which to refuse assent, I don't know which is. It is a shame that we stand on the wrong side of human rights in Parliament this morning.
How much did a temporary relocation of both the governor and his deputy to 2 island hotels cost the taxpayers of this country? Well, whomever knows it's not saying, but from what we're told, the relocations didn't come cheap, and might have been totally unnecessary. Gary Moreno has the story.
Government House has confirmed the relocations, telling us staff had to be moved over the weekend of January 20th due to an unsafe water supply. And while they were not willing to say where staff was moved to, it is understood Governor John Rankin was put up at the Hamilton Princess Hotel and Beach Club, while Deputy Governor Ginny Ferguson stayed at the Rosemont Guest Suites. The cost per night at the Fairmont Hamilton Princess at the contracted government rate is $428 double occupancy, while at Rosemont, the corporate fee, which we're told is what government would be charged, is $282 per night double occupancy. It's, however, unclear how many people would have been included in either party. Information is there would have to be added to that the cost for additional security measures, but the Bermuda Police Service is remaining tight-lipped about that figure. A spokesperson advised the BPS does not disclose the details of security arrangements for the governor. But what exactly is it that led to the relocations? Well, according to a well-placed source, it was an overreaction by an employee of the Ministry of Health. The worker reportedly found Legionella bacterium during a test of the water supply at Government House and mold in a building on the grounds of the Deputy Governor's residence, Montpellier. Legionella bacterium can cause Legionnaire's disease, but not the strain reportedly found at Government House. The water samples taken from that location were reportedly tested at a private lab rather than at government's own lab at additional cost. The results are said to have shown the presence of Legionella type 5 bacterium, which we're told is common in water supplies across the island and does not pose a health threat. Information reaching us suggests the health worker who did the testing at the 2 locations is closely linked to a private company, which was then recommended to carry out the necessary remedial work. It's unclear, though, whether that work was eventually done by the company recommended or the Department of Works and Engineering, but we're told either way it would not come cheap. Meanwhile, the worker in question, who is said to have caused undue panic because of their actions, is, we understand, now faced with disciplinary action. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
If you're social media savvy, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, where we post news stories as well as breaking news 24/7. Here's a glimpse at just some of the posts we've made to Twitter. Again, news anytime on Twitter and Facebook. Our handle is ZBM News 9. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break with weather and more.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the breakfast bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda hot fish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Ever wondered what smart health insurance feels like?
Colonial's 24/7 worldwide health insurance does most of the thinking for you.
1,500 CGI health claims are settled daily.
60% of claims settled automatically.
You can access your health plan almost anywhere, anytime.
And have smart wellness with online data tracking.
And more provider choices for you and the people who matter most.
Premier Health is smart health insurance, and it feels good.
Colonial, where people come first.
Welcome back. Some HSBC customers have found themselves short on cash this month after a technical fault caused a delay in debit card transactions during the Christmas period. Apologizing for the action, the bank says they will be waiving any overdraft fees for affected customers. Here's more. Many flooded the internet chat groups this week with comments to voice their frustrations at HSBC Bermuda. Money was leaving their accounts without any explanation.
At first I thought it was fraud, so I decided to call the bank and see what they were. And then the lady who I spoke with, she said that during last year, December 29th to the 31st, there was a few transactions that weren't posted. First, it was about maybe 5 purchases, but then when I kept checking back during the day, it was more and more purchases that kept going up. And eventually it was about $350 that they took out that day that I was not expecting them to take out.
An HSBC spokesperson explained that they identified a technical error where any debit card transactions made by customers between December 29th and January 1st were not posted to their accounts. The posting was completed this Tuesday.
I don't use online banking on the computer. I use the app. I didn't see the notice stating that they were going to take out the funds on February 6th. I was just really inconvenienced because they could have had a better way of informing their customers that they were going to do this.
Has it set you back quite a bit in terms of your monthly budget?
Yes and no. Yes, because I wasn't expecting this, but I had the money in there for them to take out. But it's an inconvenience because I did have plans, but I'm just going to have to push it back a little bit and do it at another time.
A spokesperson confirmed a notice was published last week on their website highlighting the situation to inform customers, but many said it was not publicized well enough.
Not everybody uses online banking and can see this tiny little post that they posted. They just need to inform their customers better. Calling us, sending us an email would be much better than just putting something online. For your customers that don't use online banking, I mean, you could have seniors that don't even touch that, so they would have no clue.
They are waiving the overdraft fees caused by the problem and pledge to provide extra support to clients at their contact center. They add, "We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused our valued customers and appreciate your understanding." End quote. There's been an influx of people to the health center in Hamilton for their flu shots since the health department's information last week. The department's child health coordinator, Lynn Jackson, said that number of those affected by the virus are higher than normal. But which segment of the population is most affected?
You know, this is flu season, and it does start around about December right up until March and April. And so we do expect cases of flu, and we are seeing cases of flu in Bermuda, and that's not unusual. It's slightly higher than our usual reporting, again, as expected.
So you've had a bit of an influx since the word went out. Would you say, what category would you say the bulk of those coming in for their shots would be?
Some of the older population, the seniors, but some of the working population as well, because we really do ask that the adult working population come in and have their flu shots. We even get calls from the public and companies asking that how can their employees have flu shots, because it's important, because it helps us to reduce time away from work. If we can prevent the flu, reducing our time away from work is important. We do know that the seniors and the young children are most vulnerable to flu. That isn't unusual. There's a lot of reporting of it within the United States in places. But we know that they've always been very vulnerable to the flu, and that's why we ask that the adults get vaccinated and have their children and seniors vaccinated. We do have elevated cases of flu in the community, and BHB can probably speak with the admissions directly related to flu, because they will have occurred, and we will have expected that. But the elevated level that you're referring to that is getting the press media isn't yet being seen in Bermuda.
Vaccine shots are available weekdays at the Hamilton Health Center. Well, we can expect a couple of showers tonight and into tomorrow as a cold front rolls in once again, but this time it could be a while before it shifts. Let's check in with the AccuWeather headquarters for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
Hello, I hope you enjoyed your day today. This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group, and we had a couple of showers today along with some clouds. That's because a cold front is heading in our direction. There it is. You can see it right on the radar, and it's going to keep us just a bit wet tonight and into tomorrow, but that's not a bad thing. We could certainly use this wet weather. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the island, we're at 70 degrees, humidity about 85 to 90%, and the winds coming out of the southwest 10 to 15 knots. Waves inside the reef hardly even there. We're talking less than a foot, and then outside about 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, again, those showers, they will continue along with some clouds, a bit breezy as well. Temperatures at 64. Notice tomorrow it's going to be a little bit cooler than it was today. 69 for the high. In the morning time, we're still going to see a few clouds and also showers, but as the day progresses, it's going to start drying out. We'll see more sunshine, although it's still going to be a little bit breezy out there. Now, taking a look at our first high tide, 3:34 in the morning Friday, and then the second one at 3:35 p.m. Friday as well. If you're traveling, well, we have some forecasts for you. It's a bit snowy in Toronto, chilly too, 23 degrees there. New York, some clouds, but drying out compared to yesterday, 36 for the high. Similar story for Boston. Atlanta, we're going to see some rain, could even see some thunderstorms here. Temperatures at 61 and a bit wet through Miami as well. We are seeing record challenging temperatures in Miami, so very warm conditions there the next couple of days. London in the 40s with some showers. It is hot and humid here in the Caribbean. Jamaica 86 and Trinidad 86 degrees. Both we'll see a couple of showers over the next several days. Well, Friday, those morning showers are expected with a bit cooler temperature. Saturday, we rebound to 71 degrees. It will be drier with a mix of clouds and sunshine. And on Sunday, well, we'll see a couple showers around again, but also some sun, and our temperatures are holding steady at 71 degrees. Monday and Tuesday, well, more sunshine, and it's going to stay dry, and temperatures again at 71.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going, because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
At Big Savings Zone, we believe your children deserve a happy space to call their own. Full of color and excitement, where their imagination can take flight from fun to functional, we have a delightful selection of kids' furniture built with the same quality that you've come to know and trust at our everyday low prices. Create a room that your little ones will love only at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Located in the Commercial Park, Southside, St. David's. Call 297-4440 or click BigSavingZone.com. Big Savings Zone, making your house a home.
Dozens of seniors took part in a seminar yesterday in Hamilton about the dangers of cybercrime. The annual event heard talks from a series of speakers about the dangers of online fraud, with the police warning that the international nature of such crimes made them difficult to guard against. Hal Davis reports.
Almost 100 people turned out at Cathedral Hall for a succession of talks about the dangers of cybercrime. The National Library, the police and Clarion Bank among the speakers. For those present, there's obvious concern about the risks of online scams, especially for the elderly.
The individuals who are out scamming tend to prey on seniors. And of course, most seniors have a few dollars stashed away and have available cash. So that could be, and they're not as savvy as the younger people.
Many seniors are aware of the dangers, of course, but with no specific figures kept on how many may have been victims, it's hard to be sure about the scale of the problem. But it was striking how many of those present said they'd been contacted by potential thieves. Most of the attendees who spoke to me said they'd suffered attempts to con them. One scenario mentioned by several people was a scammer calling and pretending to work for companies like Microsoft and Apple, in the hope that seniors would hand over their computer login details.
The phone call saying that there's something wrong with my computer. So I say I don't have a computer. And then they want to hang up on me.
Oh, so what, they are trying to
Yeah, they're trying to do something because how would you just call me out of the blue and say, oh, I understand there's something wrong with your computer. And I say, well, I don't have one, so nothing wrong with it, and then I just hang up on them. But they're out there.
The police say the danger is that many people may lose money they've worked their whole lives for.
Sometimes you have persons losing the whole life earning that they would have gotten, they would have saved throughout the years. Some, it is their retirement that they put to save, and they would have given it to these unscrupulous individuals, as I said, only to realize later on that they were scammed.
That's a worrying thought, especially as police say with most cybercrime originating abroad, there's often little they can do to get money back. They say the best defence for seniors is caution and prudence. Howell Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning now to sports, a young Bermudian referee is set to officiate in Jamaica. The Bermuda School Sports Federation's senior school cross-country champions are crowned, and football coaching programs announced. Earl Basin has the details in tonight's sports report.
Bermuda's FIFA-listed referee Tashawn Simons is in Jamaica, where he will take part in 2 Jamaica Premier Red Stripe League matches. Something that the Bermuda Football Association's chairman of referees, Cranston Williams, is excited about.
For me, it's a first. I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think any official from Bermuda has ever officiated in the Jamaica leagues. So to me, that's a huge step, number one. Just also to be able to refereeing to say, hey, look, here's an opportunity, this could be you next. And then it's going to be televised on Sportsmax. So you're looking on TV and say, hey, assistant referee Tashawn Simon from Bermuda. That is huge. Right. You know, I mean, that's something for someone to aspire and say, I want to do that in a few years.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
Kayla Raymond pulled away from the field on the final lap to win the Bermuda School Sports Federation's 2018 Senior School Girls Under 16 Cross Country Championships yesterday in the Arboretum. The Mount St. Agnes Academy student broke the tape in a time of 13:58. Jessie Marshall from Salters Grammar School finished second in 14:05, while Work Academy runner Morgan Chevereau finished third in 14:57. Ryan Otterbread from Barclay Institute won the Under 16 boys race in a time of 11:17. He was followed by Nick Pilgrim from Warwick Academy in a time of 11:32. Nairobi Mills from Salters finished third in 11:35. Ashley Irby from Salters Grammar School continued her cross-country undefeated run with a win in the over 16 girls division with a time of 13:16. Her schoolmates Lindsay Palmer and Laura Hope rounded out the top three finishes in a time of 13:49 and 14:15 respectively. Robert Edwards from Barclay Institute and Warwick Academy's Quincy Kuzak continued their rivalry on the cross-country course. Edwards was victorious on this date, this time clocking a time of 15:40. Both runners took a tumble on their last lap before finishing well ahead of the rest of the field. Salters runner Caden Hopkins finished in third. The Bermuda Football Coaches Association have announced the schedule for upcoming UEFA equivalent C licenses and the newly offered Intro to Coaching course to be offered in 2018. Coaches will have the opportunity to participate in coaching education that would allow them to meet the criteria and standards of the coaching licensing policy set by the Bermuda Football Association. This policy will come into effect on August 31st of 2018. The licensing policy will require coaches to possess a minimum required level of coaching education to qualify to coach at respective age levels. Presently, the Bermuda Football Coaches Association is the only organization offering ongoing coaching education opportunities for football coaches in Bermuda. The UEFA equivalent C license is a two-part course equaling a total of 40 hours, with the course date set for March 6th through to the 13th and then September 18th through to the 24th. Both parts of the course will be conducted at the National Sports Center. Meanwhile, the Into the Coach course is a new course offered in 2018 and is geared towards parents, team managers, PE teachers, current and former players who are new to coaching. It also includes the existing coaches, especially under 7 through under 11, who have not had the formal coaching education. This 2-week course equals a total of 12 hours and will run May 5th and 6th and then May 12th and 13th. John Lejour concluded competing in the NORAM Cup at the Killington Resort in Vermont. During the men's moguls duels event, Lejour would finish 48th after winning his first event before falling in his second. Kristen Eben, Magnus Reinstad, and Rachel Betchard continued representing Bermuda in the 2018 International Optimus Sailing event in Argentina. Following day 2 of sailing and a combined 6 races, Evans continues to lead the Bermuda fleet and is in 39th place with 63 net points. Eben finished 30th in the first race, which was the 4th of the regatta. That was followed by an 11th place finish in the second race of the day, and then he closed out the day with a 13th place finish. Reinstad moved up 15 places to 86th with 134 net points after starting the day 101st. Betchard is in 108th with 163 net points. Mikal Williams added to his own Mercerburg school record in the triple jump as the Mercerburg boys indoor track and field team took first place in the inaugural Pennsylvania Independent School Athletic Association Invitational. Williams broke his own school record in the triple jump, leaping 13.41 meters. He also won the long jump with a season best 6.50 meters. Williams' triple jump makes him a provisional qualifier for the Pennsylvania Track and Field Coaches Association Indoor State Track and Field Championship, which will be held at Penn State University on February 25th. With his impressive performance, Williams was voted the most outstanding male performer at the meet.
Tonight's sports has been brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
I'm Michaela and this is Taking Off. Did you know that the majority of Skyport staff are Bermudian? That's right, Skyport is a local company with Bermudian employees. Alison Russell was a Department of Airport Operations employee who stayed on with Skyport. She's a newly promoted finance manager with the responsibilities for reviews and analysis of the company's performance of expenditures and revenues to ensure the budget is not exceeded. Alison also prepares monthly financial statements and assists the finance director. Joseph Butterfield is one of the new recruits. He's a superintendent, buildings and maintenance, with responsibilities for the day-to-day supervision of the maintenance staff, overseeing management and administration of the airport and more. Joe also ensures the airport buildings and systems comply with international established airport standards. Lonnie Bascom is another former DAO staff member. He's an air operations officer and focuses on oversight of the apron, where the commercial airplanes park. He works closely with the military and diverted aircraft, as well as anything to do with airside operations. We'll meet more of the team in future episodes. See you next time.
You can count on us.
Fresh Florida strawberries only $5.99 for a 1-pound package. Fresh Purdue chicken thighs or drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. DiGiorno pizzas 12 inches, hot price $8 each. Bluebonnet margarine sticks 1-pound box only $1.69. Ajax 2X laundry detergent 50-ounce bottle only $5.69. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
Your home, your life, security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
That's all we have for you this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for watching. Good night.